Hello. I woke up at 6:30 in the morning to catch the 7:30 train to go to the station in Ikebukuro to take a separate train to Saitama. Yes, the train was very crowded. It was during rush hour and I did get squished. It wasn't until I switched over to a different line when it was not so crowded. And I knew I was at the right station because there was this cute like Moomin drawing on the side of the station. So once you get to the station, you have to take a bus all the way to Metsuya, which is technically like giant attraction, which Moomin Park Valley is part of. And in total, it took about 2.5 hours just to get there. And like I said before, this park is part of a bigger attraction called Metsuya Village, and this part is just free to enter. I want to say it's inspired by Nordic or like Scandinavian countries with like huge nature, the architecture, and I don't know, the vibe. But I can't find any information about it. Metsuya has this like really big building. One is an information center and another is a shopping place, and then there's also like this huge area that's kind of like a giant field that overlooks over a lake, and there's a couple of stores behind it that can also, get food, relax, do whatever. So if you keep walking along the path or trail, you are then walking toward the Moomin Park. And since I purchased my pass online, I just showed them my QR code for them to scan, and I was able to enter. And when you first enter, there are umbrellas, and I don't know why these umbrellas are hung or if it's part of a bigger Moomin universe, but they're very pretty to look at. And to get to the park area, you have to walk through under these umbrellas, which again, they're very pretty. I really like them, and I really like the transparency and how the sun shines through, and you see all the colors, and so there's so many colors. Again, it's very pretty. And as you walk along the path, there's a lake to your right side. And here's me trying to vlog.
It's really, really hot right now. Even though I'm in the shade, I'm sweating so hot here. And like, you're trying to do everything to protect yourself. Sunscreen, umbrella, hat, whatever. And it feels like it's not enough. So hot. But yeah, I'm at Moomin Park. I feel like this is like probably a once in a lifetime opportunity to just go here. I'm not really the biggest fan of Moomin, but it kind of did help me get through when we were in lockdown and in quarantine. It could be just like escapism or some sort of like college course thing, but definitely did help me get through quarantine. Japan has a theme park, so I was like, why not go here? So the rainy season was like only in I swear was 2 weeks about, and now it's just like hot, intense weather and heat. I'm trying to not go out, but at the same time, like I only have a week break, so I want to go out as much as I can. So hot, so much hotter than in Chicago. Probably the humidity is a major factor, but so hot!
So, and after I complained how hot it was, there is a theater show. It's less than 30 minutes. As the show was over, a lot of people just walked over to the other attractions. And so one of these attractions is in this like big like gray building. And so when you enter, there is a statue of the creator of Moomin, with all her characters and very pretty flowers, again, cute. And then you walk over to the right and you take an elevator to the 3rd floor, and this exhibit have you walk along a path and it tells you a story, kind of like you're entering a storybook. What kind of story is this? I have no idea. Everything's in Japanese and I'm actually pretty bad at interpreting a lot of things, but I really enjoy like immersing yourself in this story. After walking through that, there's this very tall diorama of the Moomin world, and at the very bottom you get to see a lot of details such as Moomin and Snufkin on the bridge, the house, the background, and the house is cut in half and you see all the stories. And my favorite part is Little My on the table. And for lunch, I got myself a cinnamon roll and a coffee drink. It's more like a brunch, but I had the option to heat it up in like a Moomin Theme oven, but the roll was already warm. And so after eating, there was a couple of like arcade games around the park, and depending on the game, pay 500 yen, and then you have 3 tries to win. Managed to win something, and this was my reaction. So I just played an arcade game. It was only 500 yen, and even if you don't win, you still get like a really small prize, like a pin. I managed to win, and now I'm stuck carrying this. There's still so much to explore! Oh my god! So yeah, I was stuck holding this plush for the rest of the day, and so up next was the Moomin house. To see what's inside, you start at the basement and then you work your way up, and they allow a certain amount of people on each floor because of the very small space. And I think this place is so cool. Like, you get to see all the rooms and what each character, you know, live, and see all the cool details and like in real life. And yeah, that's the Moomin house. I want to say that there is like a nature walk thing. Ever since I got this, it's very hard to just, I don't know, just carry it around because it's also plastic and it just makes a lot of noise. I'm also holding this umbrella too, so it makes it like 10 times harder. Part of the area, I think it's just like a little nature walk, so, and there's a lot of shade. It's very, very nice and cooling. What I noticed is there's a lot of, I don't want to assume age, but there's a lot of like seniors, those who are like very much older. There's very few families here. There is a couple, but there's very few, and it's either because it's a Wednesday and they have school, or, you know, it's obviously better if they go on the weekend. Right now, I don't think there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people like in terms of elderly, but there isn't a lot of families here, which I'm very surprised, but I'm pretty sure on the weekends it gets very busy. And it's not just Moomin Park, there's like activities such as like kayaking, zip lining, quote unquote, like summer activities, so yeah. And there's a couple of things to do, like going up these steps, there's like a play place area, and at the very end of the trail, it leads to Snufkin's tent. And this kind of makes sense based on his character. There are 2 other separate buildings that's part of this park. These buildings are essentially theaters where people can watch little shows and also escape from the heat. I think I spent around 4 hours here, so I think it was time to exit the park and explore the other parts of Metsia. And of course, I bought a couple of souvenirs, and you'll see that at the end of the video. The stores around here have, again, like Nordic, Scandinavian themes going on, and like products as well. I didn't really record much, but there were a lot of products from different countries as well, and also like Japanese things like rice cracker snacks and like matcha dessert. I bought this like blueberry drink, and it was so refreshing. And so it was around 3 p.m. and so I think it was time for me to go home, because again, it takes about 2.5 hours to get here, so it will take another 2.5 hours just to get back. Souvenir time. So this has the logo of Little My and Moomin sitting and leaning on each other, and on the other side of the bag it has the majority of the characters all together. So first is Moomin plush that I won. Again, this was not my intention of getting, but I have it now. It's a very firm plush, and I fear it will get dirty because it is like white. And in hindsight, I feel like I should have gotten the Little My plush because that was also an option, and I kind of enjoy her like chaotic gremlin energy. I was also giving this like souvenir bag because it was just empty. I bought this like embroidery pin. There's 10 different types of pins, and I was totally okay of getting one of these just to get one, and I was fine with the one I got. I also bought this like food snack to give to my friends here, and that's my Moomin adventure. Now I need to figure out who I'm gonna give these snacks to.